personal member for Gilmore.
My question is to the Minister for Climate Change and Energy. How is the Albanese Labor government getting on with the job of reducing emissions and acting on climate change? Are there any proposals the government is being asked to consider that would take Australia backwards?
Call to the Minister. The member for Hume, just going to move forward, and the Prime Minister cease rejecting, so I can hear from the Minister for Climate Change and Energy.
Thank you very much, Mr Speaker. I thank my honourable friend for the question. I can report to the House that Australia and Australians are making real progress when it comes to climate action, Mr Speaker. Today we've seen the release of Australia's emission data showing a reduction in Australia's emissions in the year to March of 6.5 million tonnes in every sector apart from transport. That is Australia and Australians getting on with the job. And Australians are also getting on with the job of installing cheaper home batteries, Mr Speaker. I'm pleased to report to the House that as of today, 36,592 Australian households have installed a cheaper home battery under the Albanese government's policy, and I'm particularly pleased to tell the member for Gilmore that more of her constituents have introduced a cheaper home battery than any other electorate in New South Wales, a fact that we celebrated on my visit with the member for Gilmore to Dolphin Point last week when we visited Mike, who's just installed a cheaper home battery. And I can tell the House that the second electorate in New South Wales for the record for installing cheaper home batteries is Richmond. So congratulations to the member and community of Richmond. And third is Page. So congratulations to the member for Page. What this shows is that up and down the coast, all through regional Australia, Australians understand that's what is good for the planet is good for their pocket. That's what regional Australians know. They know that they can get on with the job of reducing bills and emissions in their household just as we can in the country. Now, the honourable member asked me if we're being asked to consider any alternative plans, and of course the House is. Now we know, Mr Speaker, you can feel the tension in the air. The country is waiting with bated breath on tenterhooks to find out what the Canavan review might possibly recommend when it comes to net zero. He's been charged by the Leader of the Opposition, the National Party, on telling them what they should do, what they should think about net zero. But not everyone's waiting. Not everyone's waiting for the results of the Canavan review. The Leader of the Nationals was out on the weekend voting to scrap net zero at the LNP conference. We saw the anti-net zero bill introduced this morning, formally moved this morning, not by the member for New England, it turns out, but by the member for Wide Bay, seconded by the member for Groom, Mr Speaker. I will always yield to the member for New England.
The member for New England will have to state his point of order.
Relevance, definitely on relevance. At the start he got the bill wrong, now he's got the date it was introduced wrong. It was actually introduced quite some weeks ago.
It's not a point of order. The member for New England has been here long enough to know that is an abuse of the standing orders, and he's now warned. The Minister for Climate Change and Energy will return to the question.
And I was asked, Mr Speaker, of course, whether the House and the government is being asked to consider any alternatives. We are, by the coalition, because this bill was formally moved by a member of the National Party, seconded by a member of the Liberal Party. The member for New England has pointed out his approach has the broad support of the coalition. Nothing unites them as much as opposing dealing with climate change. Nothing unites them as much as saying to regional Australia, we will do nothing about the challenge of climate change, which will see droughts and natural disasters increase their damage across regional Australia. That's why regional Australia looks to this side of the House for leadership when it comes to climate.
Order.